Good afternoon, intuitives. I know I have not been posting videos for the past couple of weeks, and I have a good reason. So, the bits that I can say is, as usual, I've been working more hours than scheduled for, pulling in some side jobs, but mainly the Department of Justice has issued my right to sue letter against Arlington County, so as to be expected when you get the official go-ahead from the Department of Justice. I think it's obvious I've been spending a lot of my free time communicating with my attorney. In addition, after months of being on a wait list, I finally have been able to begin treatment for the PTSD I suffer from as a result of the bullying and hazing I faced for months while employed by the Arlington County Fire Department as a firefighter recruit. And this is something that's been going through my head for over a week now, and that's why the title of this video is the INFJ and the Ouroborus. The symbol of the Ouroborus, the snake eating its own tail, because I feel like my life has gone full circle. 15 years ago, this time in 2006, I was unjustly expelled from the Arlington County Fire Department without cause a few weeks before Recruit Class 64 began. I've looked into the matter. It's dodgy at best. I really wasn't given a reason. I was told at times budget cuts and other things, but for whatever reason, I was booted at the last minute without cause to get somebody else in. Old boys club stuff, I assume. I honestly don't know. But it's really been bothering me lately that what I sought after for 15 years was to become a professional firefighter, in an urban environment, in a liberal area. How, after 15 years, I'm no better off than I was at 19. I spent 15 years longing for what I believed was my lost virtue, longing for what I believed would give me my greatest sense of purpose, sense of identity. And I idolized, what the fire service was as a professional firefighter, looking as someone who was briefly on the inside but never really in the thick of it. Now, after having been in for almost a year and seeing exactly what the culture of the fire service is, while I still have that twinge of longing and a pang of grief for what I believe was my lost identity, my lost vocation, my purpose, I now can see the culture of the fire service for what it really is, and through all the hype and stuff that the media gives. And certainly, there are some individuals with great integrity, and certainly most of the individuals have great bravery, but the sense of honor and integrity and all that, when you're on the inside, it's really not there, in my opinion. I mean, more than anything else, it's an old boys club. And if you're not in the club, it doesn't matter, how fit you are, how knowledgeable you are, how smart you are, how best you're able to perform the job. If you don't fit in the culture, there's problems with that. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people realize is, there could be a specific job that you could be very good at. It could be what you want to do, but the culture and the environment around that profession may absolutely repulse you, at least some of the time. And that seems to be what I'm dealing with. It seems like for 15 years, I was chasing a fantasy and idealized image of what that profession is. And while all my classmates were great and most of my instructors, the sense of integrity and honor in the fire service as a whole, at least in the Arlington County Fire Department, isn't there. Like, I would expect, especially a place like that, to be on the forefront of not just innovation and technology within the fire service, which they are. The Arlington County Fire Department is one of only 2 fire departments in the world where ALS ambulances are equipped with portable ultrasound machines that can transmit that data to the hospital while en route. The other is the London Bureau of Fire. at least what I read and what I was told, back in the academy, and I don't think any others have adopted that yet. But I would think in a progressive area like Arlington, the culture of the area would have, gone into the higher management, and things like bullying, hazing, retaliation, sexism, racism, all that and worse would not be tolerated at all. I would think that the department would want to rid all individuals guilty of that, and not, in my opinion, try to sweep it under the rug simply to preserve the county's PR image. Again, not making an official statement. This is my opinion based on my experience that I lived. Um, the people in Arlington County are great, but it's strange to have this feeling that everything I wanted it to be for 15 years, in a lot of ways it was, but in some ways, with the culture, it wasn't. And it easily could be with the right people in charge. It easily could be done. It's what the community wants done. It's what a majority of the members want. But sadly, with a lot of professional cultures, you have that old boys club that fears change, because change takes away their advantage. You know, the old boys club and all that goes with it helped them, if not got them to where they are. They relied on that to be in the position where they're at. That's how they retain power. That's how they keep other people down. That's how they get away with abusing people, and they write it off as it's part of the culture. This is what you signed up for. And in any profession, that's a lie. That's not normal. That's not to be tolerated. That's somebody getting off on abusing or exploiting you. That is the behavior of a sociopath, in my opinion. And it's frustrating to think what could have been, and we all go through that at certain times in our life. You look back at what could have been and what you wish you've done differently, but you have to remember, and I can't do it, and I was discussing this with somebody earlier today, to think like, why did I do something, say, back when I was 23? Well, I can't get in the headspace of who I was at 23 anymore. So much has changed, so much life experience has happened since then, that I can't think as I did back then as a naive 23-year-old. And we all have to realize that. We all have to realize that in coming full circle, you have to learn from your past. Even if it seems like certain patterns are repeating themselves in your life, you have the knowledge and the know-how to change, to have a different outcome. Learn from your past. Don't sit around just regretting, oh, this should have went differently in the past, or why the hell did I date this person, or why did I take this job. Remember what you've learned from those bad experiences, and when that pattern emerges again, know how to deal with it and don't hold back. Understand that it's empowering to speak up, and that you can say no when somebody is trying to exploit you. And you should also call them out and, have them seen for who they are. With me, it's like my Ouroborus has come full circle. Once again, I'm wrongfully dismissed from my dream job, the job I wanted, more than anything bar unconditional love since I was 18 years old. Here I sit at 34, I stand here no wiser than before. Faust quote. But it's frustrating. I mean, it's frustrating. It's hard to even explain in this video. It feels like at this moment, like I wasted 15 years, thinking that whole time during the recession, when there were hiring freezes, during when I was recovering from my knee surgery. All that time I thought, well, one day, I'll become a professional firefighter and it'll all be right. You know, I'll be even better because I had to wait this long, and I'll appreciate the job that much more because I know what it's like to work a job I hated 7 days a week, and the pay was shit too. Assistant golf course superintendent, don't do it. You're thinking about going to school for turf, contact me, we'll talk, I'll tell you the truth. Don't let the propaganda of what the industry was 20 years ago lure you in. So, but I just can't, sort of can't get past that. I feel like 15 plus years of my life is wasted because I'm no better off. However, another part of me is realizing that perhaps, you know, I did, me going through what I went through did some good because I decided to speak out. I did want to change the fire service and make it better, make it more progressive. Now, I didn't intend to, you know, do it in this way through a lawsuit, but I guess be careful. Sometimes you get what you wish for. Be specific. So, hopefully, I will leave my mark on the fire service and it'll help end some of the negative culture that is still in a lot of places written off as just quote par for the course or what you signed up for, or my personal favorite when they say it's tradition. Oh yeah, I was abused, so I have to abuse you because reasons. I don't know. I've been, I've been physically abused, I've been sexually assaulted, I've been emotionally abused, and I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. I want to help, you know, raise awareness on all those fronts so that those that perpetrate those actions can be caught and justly punished due to the law of that region. So I just don't understand why someone who is hurt would want to hurt somebody else. But just this feeling of a decade and a half of my life just led to the same disappointment. And I'm struggling, living in an area I hate, to find the will to keep pushing to hope one day it'll get better. Because, I was told that for a decade and a half, and it didn't. I mean, bar the bullying and hazing and retaliation, yeah, my time in the fire department was great, but that was less than a year. I'm 34 years old. I don't have another decade and a half to, quote, wander in the desert doing things I don't like for some outcome that may or may not ever happen. So, for those of you in similar situations, I'm doing the best I can to try to tell you that you have to keep pushing. You have to find a purpose in life. Like for me, I wanted to help people, and I'm still striving to do that, though I suppose the avenue won't be through being a professional firefighter. Maybe. I'm going to hopefully try my luck in Ireland or the UK where I at least have some chance of getting hired. But perhaps it's leading me down a different path to where I can have greater impact by, maybe starting a non-profit and raising awareness on issues like bullying, hazing, retaliation, exploitation, and all those things. And being that, you know, that, what do I want to say? That, like, checker, that basically a safeguard against that culture continuing, being, an independent entity from various professions that can be the one who, when there would normally be an internal investigation, my charity would come in and investigate externally because no cronyism or old boys or friends network because we're external. No worrying about trying to bury the truth for the PR image of the company or government because, again, external. Just trying to get to the bottom of the truth and provide counseling and assistance for those that were abused and exposing, the people and the companies for the actions they perpetrated so people can rightly know what they're really about and what, they don't take seriously perhaps or potentially try to sweep under the rug. So if you're in a situation where you feel like your life's come full circle, you've reached the end of the Ouroborus and you're back, you feel like you're back to where you started. Yeah, in literary tropes it reminds you of the Odyssey and the Iliad. But in other ways, remember that maybe something greater than you could ever have hoped for is right on the horizon. And understand, if you're in the same situation as you were before, don't do what you did before if it didn't work. Like I said, it was dodgy when I wasn't allowed into my former recruit class the first time in 2006. I don't know why. I was never told. All I got was a very short letter that said, sorry, we're rescinding the offer. Thank you for applying. You have dedication to the fire service. Blah 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 blah. But no reason given, and I pressed for it but never got it. But my point is I didn't do anything when that happened. So now I was wrongfully abused, discriminated against, bullied, hazed, and retaliated. And I'm not just, walking away or sulking in a dark room. I'm pursuing a lawsuit, so justice can be served, and hopefully by my case help change the culture of the fire service so that no other has to go through what I went through. And I feel as if, in my opinion, I'm doing that at the cost of my own career, because by speaking out, doesn't make you look real good if you try to apply it to another fire department, at least within the same union. The union doesn't like egg on its face. So I wish I could go into a little more detail at the time, but I can't. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're in the same spot you were in a previous time where you were wronged in some way, if you didn't stand up for yourself and speak out the first time, do it the second time. I can't say it enough. It's empowering to speak up about, if you were abused, it's empowering to speak up about it. I've given examples of other people who helped motivate me to go on. I was going to speak up anyway, but helped give me the courage to go on the news. So, you can look at my examples that I've given in other videos, look to others. Look to your own sense of integrity and your willingness to do the right thing and help others, because you don't help others and nothing changes if you bury the truth. If you didn't speak up the second time and you've come full circle, speak up this time. I can't guarantee you it's going to work out well, but at least you fought. At least you did everything you could to get justice for yourself and to help protect others. In anything, whether it's a bad relationship, being wronged at a job, bad habits, if you come full circle, don't make the same mistakes you did the first time. Learn from, your previous actions of when you were in the same position before. Do something different. Use your life experience to your advantage, and don't sit around obsessing about the past and what you would have done differently. Don't regret the past. Learn from it and don't repeat the same mistakes. I'm hoping to be putting up videos more often in the near future. Again, I don't know, my legal case could become busier at any given time at this point. Thanks everybody who likes and subscribes, especially if you're new to the channel. You most likely saw me post one of my videos on the Facebook groups. I tend to, give some advice on there when it's a situation where I've gone through something similar. Thanks everybody who reaches out. Please comment below if you want me to clarify things, or if you have a suggestion of a topic you'd like me to talk about. As always, never sell out your integrity, always trust your intuition, and don't repeat the same mistakes twice.